Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. I know some of you were wondering what happened last week. Well, you can count it on having children. Kids bring around all the bugs. So the stomach flu ran through my house, and I got, at least sounds like somebody else back here got the stomach flu. So I got a little bit of something. So we're back on target. We're back where we need to be. And today we're talking about street artists. What is a street artist? What is street art? What's the difference between street art and graffiti? What's the difference between somebody just standing out there hollering and screaming and a street artist? There's differences. I grew up in East Baltimore. We saw all kinds of different types of street art. So those were common things. So bellying up to the bar at us today is writer, comedian, artist, sunglass aficionado, a little bit of everything. Father of the West Coast, we're gonna call him because he's got a little man with him. We have brought with us today, coming all the way from Cali with us today, Mr. Vernon English.
Woo! Thank you so much, Sean. My first and foremost, let me take the time to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. And yes, I am a father. I have my son with me. I'm a street artist, and I also have a podcast, which is Spiky Bebop, SPIKEEBEBOP. And that's basically a platform that I speak on my, science fiction, but the day-to-days of being an artist is. It's not so much just smoking weed and, looking at pretty ladies all. Particularly goes along with actually thinking and wire some daily basis. Like, I have a list. Literally, I didn't even I got hit by a car. Was this in January? And while I was waiting, and so I just got a little tuned up, but I'm tougher than I look, man.
Yeah. Hey,
brother,
you got a little bit of an audio issue. I'm not sure if it's your headphones. Brett Keller's just jumped on and said there's a little bit of an audio issue.
Okay. Can you hear me better?
No, what's going on is I'm getting a double feed here. So every time you talk, I'm saying it twice. Can you switch from your headphones just to your speaker on your phone? Let's see if that works better.
Yeah, I can do that. 1 second.
Let's cut that off. See if that does it for us.
Let's see if that works.
It wasn't doing it in pre-production, folks.
Fix. Now can you hear me? Can you hear me a little better?
I can hear you, but we're getting a little bit of a. Now I'm getting the feedback. Well, Brett, you say that, and I can hear the feedback.
Okay, so the feedback from the headphones. Can you hear me just a little bit better?
Are the headphones cut off?
Yes.
All right, so we're getting that feedback now. Let's see if we can back to the headphones. See, but I'm not hearing it. Are you hearing it? Can I talk?
Well, you're fine. Your audio is good. My mic is on right now, but I'm trying to figure out what's the feedback.
What it may be is that the headphones are picking up. The only time you ever get feedback is when one person talking and another speaker.
Yeah. Well, let me turn off my Bluetooth.
Oh, cut that off. And see if
hopefully that's a little bit.
Let me know when you're off there.
Okay, I'm all off, and hopefully that helps a little. And hear me a little better.
Let's see. Nope, I'm still getting that feedback.
Man, that's crazy.
Let's try this. Do me a favor, brother. Log out. Log back in. I'll do the.
Okay, I'll try.
Let's try that. All right, folks. Vernon's gonna jump off for it. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Brett. It was bad. But see, I'm not. Let me know, Brett, if you're still hearing it. Vernon logged off there, and he's going to try to log back in. I'm going to just kick that. Yeah, see, it was just his audio. It wasn't my audio also. But let's jump in this while he's trying to get himself back situated. We're going to do that, and then he'll be able to jump back on. So let's go ahead and do our house cleaning real quick. So while Vernon's getting himself situated to come back, we'll go ahead and do our quick house cleaning right now. As we always say, folks, we're on here every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Over my right shoulder, we got the big sign for Sticker and a Cause. As we talk about, if you've got, maybe you're a street artist, maybe you're into something and you've got a sticker, whatever that happens to be, if you reach out to me, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, I'll tell you where to send it to. You send me a sticker, we put your stuff up there, and you get free advertisement on what we've got going on, and I'll talk about what you got happening. At the same time, maybe your media needs an upgrade from graffiti to street art, and you need somebody to deal with. Well, that's why we got Media by Dibs. You reach out to Media by Dibs. That's DIBS on Instagram or on Facebook, Media by Dibs, or you can find him on LinkedIn at Andrew Dibble. When you tell him that you're there to belly up to the bar, he's going to give you a 10% discount on your first order, and he's going to go ahead and give you a free consultation. That's Media by Dibs. All right, we're all opened up here, brother.
Okay.
a
So
little bit of feedback.
Still more feedback. Oh my God.
I hear myself echoing. Let's try the headphones one more time. See if it wasn't echoing on my end for the headphones, just your end.
Okay, so the headphones again.
Let's see if that fixes stuff. But yeah. So something when I'm talking on your end, it's picking up and feeding back.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Maybe if I turn the heat down a little bit or something, hopefully that helps. One moment. 2 seconds.
You got it, brother. So while he's getting his audio all situated, we'll go ahead and get some things. But I'm curious, as we're getting this all situated, what's some of your folks' experiences with street art? Do you know anybody who does street art? I know here in the capital region, over in Troy, during the summertime, we actually have a phenomenal thing where they actually, outside of all the businesses down around the Uncle Sam statue, they'll do art right on the street where you can see the paintings and you can ask people what to do, and it's right there. And then within the week, it's gone. So it's kind of this you're now gone type situation of that kind of art. But if you also keep in mind, and we can go back to prior to vaudeville days, that's really what vaudeville was, is taking artists who were performing on the streets, doing their acts on the streets, because that's how they were trying to put money in their pocket. Vaudeville brought that into buildings and then created our modern day entertainment that we watch movies and we watch skit comedy. All those kind of things come from the street artists. So that's kind of the history of street art, according to me. But Mr. Vernon, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what your street art is, and what your background getting into it is?
Okay, so if you can hear me, my is just the you just said and how street art, and it can be the random being as in are going throughout your day. An adult, you don't expect surprise. Usually when we get to a certain unexpected,
still doubling it, brother. Every time you talk, it doubles up.
And such a great message. If I walk over this way. But hopefully you get a little bit of what I'm saying.
Everything you're saying, as soon as you talk. So I'm not getting my echo anymore, but every time you talk, it's echoing on your end.
Man. Oh no, I apologize, Sean. I thought it was good.
It's echoing every time you talk.
One more time. Let's see. Just as far as you can hear me a little bit clearly with this.
Your voice is perfectly fine, but what happens is every time you're talking, it's doubling up.
Let's see.
Yeah. While you're figuring that out, I'm gonna mute your mic for just a moment.
Okay.
And whatever you did, then I was just doubling up. So it was picking up. Try muting headphones. There you go. Try muting either your headphones or your phone itself. George, who's another podcaster, said try muting one or the other so that you're only using one microphone. You might be using two mics right now.
Okay, because I'm just using this one here for what do you call this? On the phone, it's Android. And if it's setting up, I'm trying to figure out if it's mic.
Welcome to Technical Hour with Sean and Vernon, where we attempt to figure out how to get headphones to work and shit not to echo back at us.
Let me go. This is easy.
All right, so I'm gonna put you back down while you figuring out what some of the possibilities could be.
Okay.
So while he's figuring out that, I'm curious, and everybody who's on here right now knows you can go live with us and ask questions. But I'm curious, has anyone ever really spent any time? And Vernon, you should be able to still hear me. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go. Have you had any experiences? I'm going to mute you for a second. Have you had any personal experiences with street art or watching street artists? And if you did, where were you and what kind of experience did you have? Like I said, growing up in Baltimore, you see it all the time. I used to work for Amtrak and go down into the city all the time, and headed down into New York City. You see the guys playing the drums on buckets all over every other corner. It's just, they're very commonplace. And I spent some time in New Orleans, and down in New Orleans, it's the same deal. You can see top tier, some of the greatest musicians in the world that have played with like serious orchestras. And when you're good, Vernon, you want to try again, give me a thumbs up. You have some of the best in the world that are out there, and they're right on the corner. There's actually a lady, I can't think of her name right now. I recently saw no, we're still echoing.
Still echoing? Wow, that's incredible. Can have just what to tell you is that remember every day is different, and that is ultimately what my message to tell to you. I set up in Los Angeles, easy place, but that's the thing that I have. I apologize for my audio. Fix this. This podcast is great. Keep it up, man. You're not told. You're a great man.
Well, if you can, see if you can find somebody's phone you can borrow and jump back on.
Okay. I'm here.
All right, so I'm going to wait for you. We're going to talk for a minute. All right, so Vernon's going to try to get somebody else's phone here, and we're going to see what he can get going on, and we can talk for a minute. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. So while he's working on that, but down in New Orleans, like I said, just a phenomenal opportunity. While I'm thinking about it, George, if you're still hanging out, let me know if you're still on the stream right now. Let me know if you're still hanging out with me, George, because I got a question for you. If you are, I'm sending something over to you. We haven't talked in a while, but this is a great opportunity. Come on there, computer. I know you can work with me. My man George is still out there. Dun, dun. Why is none of this working? My technology is not wanting to hang out with me, folks. It happens to the best of us. But yeah, so let's see if George is still on here. George, if you are still on, go look on your messenger real quick. Bang, bang. Check your messenger, George. So as I was saying, though, this is one of those things. We're going to pivot here for a minute. If George can jump on, I know Nate's going to be mad, but George is a New York sports guy. He likes wrestling, and we've met many times. So we're going to make a quick pivot here. I'm going to see if George can jump on for a minute. He'll send me a message if he can't. But if he can, I want to talk to him about some of the sports things that are going, especially if I remember right, George is a Giants guy, and I wanted to talk contracts for a minute. I wanted to see what his feelings were on this Daniel Jones deal, if he has any opinions on it. The fact that Daniel Jones got a real nice payday here. Let's see. He saw my message. Let's see if he's got time to jump on. Like I said, this is podcasting. If you like to podcast, if you ever thought about podcasting, this is what we do. We pivot quickly because things change. Vern will get it fixed up. He's a great dude. You can find him on LinkedIn at Vernon English. Great content. Like I said, Darren, there's so many moves that have gone on today. People signing. Somebody told me Zeke is leaving the Giants. I'm curious if that's true or not. If Zeke really does leave the Giants, that'll be wild in my opinion, because I can't imagine them doing that. But that is the rumor, is that Zeke is leaving the Giants. So we shall see. Who else has recent signing? And if you're hanging out with us, I'd love to hear your opinion on Lamar Jackson. I'm more curious of what people's opinion are on Lamar Jackson's response to Adam Schefter dropping the dime out that he had a chance at 133 million guaranteed at signing, and then all the other stuff that brought it up to 200 million. And he said no, but now he's saying that he's basically coming out and saying that that was a BS statement, that it wasn't real, that none of those things were real. Well, that's my whole thing, Nate, is Lamar is going to be a headache. If he, he's going to play. They put the restricted free agent. I think they put the restricted. Let's see here. I got my man George. Let's see if George, you can hang out with us. You can be my co-host today. What do you think? You ready, George?
Cool. Sounds good.
Vernon, let's see how you sound, brother.
Can you guys hear me?
You sound amazing.
Okay, so I just took a cover off of my phone, and I think that was probably the issue.
Oh, that's a new one. Echoing. So
yeah,
we're gonna keep you. So we started to pivot for a minute. So I needed George for a second. So George has the Outlaws podcast.
Nice.
And we met at the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. Where we sat next to each other and gave each other scowls, like who's this guy? That's not true. We actually just hit it right off and started talking to each other. We geeked out, like, Kelly, what kind of mic are you using? Well, I've got this one. You got. So we geeked. But I gotta. So you're on. I don't know if are you a sports guy, Vernon?
Yes, I love Roddy Piper, The Undertaker, Sting, all of those guys, legends.
I definitely like. I've seen Sting. I like all those guys, but I got to ask this question, George. Lamar Jackson contract.
I'd be leery about giving him fully guaranteed money.
What are you thinking, Vernon?
Lamar Jackson, I agree. I have to look at him and look at some more tape of him, but just I don't know. Consistency is key.
Well, he's never played a full season. Here's my thing for him. Here's the real one, and I wanted other sports guys' thoughts on this. What do you think about every season he has a mystery illness that they'll never talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know about that, George?
Yeah. And it's things like that, right? Like what if it takes him down for 2 games? What if it takes him down for 4? And now it's fully guaranteed. What if all of a sudden he can't play anymore because of it?
What's the one that plays? Because you're a Yankees guy, aren't you, George?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, but who's the guy that you guys play every year like $10 million?
Wait, that's Aaron Hicks?
Is it Aaron Hicks that gets the money every year and hasn't played for like forever?
All the time.
Yeah. That's guaranteed money, folks.
Yeah.
And there's the NBA star that's like got a 20-year guarantee.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah, like so guaranteed money. It sounds great, and I don't blame an athlete for wanting it. But that dude. But I'm also the Adam Schefter piece. Adam Schefter came out and said, "Hey, no, somebody's echoing again. Who's echoing?
Is it still me?
Nope. All right, whatever you
just Cool.
Somebody's echoing. Let's see who it is. George, you talk.
What's going on, guys?
All right, so I don't hear it. So I think it was you there, Vernon.
Okay, no worries. Oh man, come on.
Go back to wherever you were sitting at.
Okay, I'll go over there.
But Yeah, so that guy's money is guaranteed. But Adam Schefter came out with a thing, and I don't know if you saw it, George. 133 million guaranteed off the first rip. At signing, 133 million.
Yep.
As long as he stayed healthy, it was another like big chunk of like double-digit millions of dollars. And then there was a third one for being there. And then if he was at the 5th day of the 2026 season, he just got $7 million just for being there. He could leave at the 6th day, but as long as he was there on the 5th day of the 2026 season, he got another $7 million. Total contract value, $200 million in guarantees continually as long as he hit those other widgets. But signing day was $133 million. Done.
Yeah, that's generational wealth. I don't understand why you wouldn't take that.
Any one of us would be a fool. Vernon, I'm going to buy you a new phone. I'm buying you a new phone. I have to mute you right now because every time I unmute you, you echo at me.
All right, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna let you guys conversation. And sorry for the pivot.
We're gonna reschedule. Vernon, listen to me. We're rescheduling.
Okay, bet.
Deal? All right, let's get that fixed up. George and I'll finish this one up. All righty. Let me remove him for a second. But you just said it. You know, that's generational wealth. But, you know, I don't know if you're following it all. I mean, you guys just signed Daniel Jones.
No. I'm not a Giants fan. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Oh my God.
Cowboys.
That's a whole nother thing. Is Zeke gone?
Zeke is gone, yeah.
So
which I'm not a fan of. I'd like to see him bring him back as a fullback. He does things that Pollard can't do.
As a fullback?
Yeah. Why not? He never gets stuffed for short yardage runs. He's a dynamite running back inside the red zone. And he's a hell of a pass blocker.
I'll give you the pass blocker. But I don't know if he's got the body for a fullback. I don't know if he's got it.
Well, if you're not going to touch the ball 20 times a game, you don't need to be light anymore. He could put weight on.
But do you pay him the money he's looking for at a fullback?
No.
That's the other side to
it. I mean, outside of Cincinnati, I don't really know anybody that is going to take the flyer on him.
Why do you think Cincinnati would take it?
Well, Ohio State guy.
Yeah. See,
he's a tough runner. He's very good in pass protection. Joe Burrow gets hit a lot. So,
can we talk about the greatest fullback in the NFL right now, though, for a second? Patrick Ricard.
Yeah.
Like, when I think about a fullback, that's the first thing that comes to mind to me is Patrick Ricard.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm just saying, like, if, at this point in Zeke's career, if you're still going to be, I don't see him being that, running back, the tailback anymore.
Do you think he'd be smart to just pack it up and just like, hey, I'm still Ezekiel Elliott. I can still walk. I can still spell my name. And any news station, at least for a couple of seasons, would love to have him.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I mean,
no doubt.
I mean, look at Romo.
Yeah. Zeke, I mean, and not for nothing, you do kind of, if you play in Dallas, you kind of have that ability.
Yeah.
People will love to hear from him or hate him, but it'll draw attention.
Well, I mean, Romo to me right now is the best color guy out there, bar none. I've watched games where that guy's talking and he's like, oh, take a look at that lineup. They're lining up and a blah, blah, blah. If you keep an eye out on the tight end, he's going to run an out and up and cross and, oh, look at that. You see that guy right there? He's going to go ahead and do that. And I watched a game where they must have at some point been like, stop. You're giving away the plays. They're listening to you.
Yeah.
Because it was just too accurate.
Right.
You're saying, his vision of the field. But what else is going on? Like today's been a big day for moves.
Yeah. Baker to the Bucks. That's pretty big.
I think that was a smart move, and I think he'll be successful in Tampa.
Yeah, I don't know why Cleveland cut the ties with him. You know what I mean? He played with a broken arm the year they cut ties with him. He went to LA. He showed he could still play.
Look,
I don't know that Tampa Bay is necessarily going to be that. They got a lot of rebuilding to do, but I think Baker's a really good quarterback.
You know the Madden curse, right?
Yeah, sure do.
Yeah, that's the Cleveland curse.
Yeah.
Remember Brady Quinn?
Yep, sure do.
He was the greatest thing since sliced bread coming out of Notre Dame. That guy was going to set the NFL on fire. Couldn't have done it. He goes to Cleveland and he just falls apart.
Yeah. Colt McCoy, I think, was another one.
Oh, I forgot about Colt McCoy. Yeah, there's another one. And they were like back-to-back first rounders that they pulled and just abused them like a prom date. Just horrible what they did to those kids. And Baker, the only thing I will say that hurt Baker coming into the NFL is he tried to bring that same college energy.
Yeah.
Where it's like rah-rah on the sidelines and all those kind of things. My buddy Eric from work, Johnny Manziel. There you go.
Yep.
Johnny Football. But I think Manziel is a manufactured. Manziel was a manufactured quarterback. Like, have you ever heard the story like with his dad and like the money his parents spent on him? Like his dad was like a big time lawyer in Texas or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was crazy. What else is going on? Oh, speaking of, you mentioned Joe Burrow. I just watched an interview. Have you ever heard about like Joe Burrow at like age 9 or 10 and winning like some basketball game? Did you hear this story?
I think I saw a little snippet of it.
Yeah, like the guy, like they said his coach was like somewhere at some college. He's a professor of psychology for criminal psychology and was like, yeah, I only see that type of action in policemen, EMTs, and serial killers.
He's definitely got something, right, that a lot of these other guys don't have.
He absolutely is a beast. But what other moves have been going on in the NFL? There's just been so many. Like
the one I like is Tyler Heineke to the Falcons.
Now, what do you like about that?
That kid's a gamer. So a couple buddies of mine today, we were having a conversation. It's like certain guys are knocked because of their size, and I think Heineke's one of those guys.
Okay.
But they don't knock Kyler Murray for his size. They don't knock Russell Wilson for his size. Russell Wilson's only 5'10".
Is he really?
Yeah, they say Russell Wilson's like 5'10", 5'10 and a half, maybe.
He's like our man from Buffalo. The hell was his name from back in the day?
Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie was like 4'11" or something like that.
Yeah. So it's like there's like Heineke. He did pretty well with the Commanders, or the Redskins, whatever they were at the time. And I thought he did well in Wentz's absence. Last year. So.
Darren Waller to the Giants.
Yeah.
That's another move. This one I thought was an interesting move. And I'm curious, Miles Sanders is going to go to the Panthers.
Yeah.
Are they just throwing money at whatever they can hope for?
I don't understand the move they just made. Like who in this quarter, I'm guessing it's got to be a quarterback because Sam Darnold went to San Francisco.
Right.
You traded up with the Bears and what? DJ Moore. They traded away DJ Moore and something else to get the number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is that good at quarterback in this draft?
I couldn't even tell you who the quarterbacks are in this draft.
Yeah, it's like CJ. Everybody's like CJ Stroud or this Will Levis kid, and I'm like, these aren't like household name. Like I just don't get it.
He says Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
He's a West Coast quarterback, isn't he? Oh, Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama's quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you got to really be in love with that guy. I don't know.
But are you in love with a quarterback like him because of the fact that Alabama runs a pretty pro system?
Yeah.
So it's an easy transition for a guy like that. You're not.
It is
with it.
The thing about Alabama quarterbacks though is kind of like, you can say Tua was having a good year, you can say Mac Jones had a good year, but the sustainability of them, it doesn't seem like after like 3 or 4 years they just seem like they kind of fall right off.
Hold on, Eric. I'm going to stop you here. You're going to say that guy is on the level with Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, and Lamar. Look, Lamar drives me nuts. There is no one like that guy. There's not. Like, he does things with his legs that you're not supposed to do. And he has a strong arm. I'll argue with anybody about his arm. But Kyler Murray, I think Kyler Murray doesn't get enough credit, personally. I think that guy's better than what anybody says. But you're really going to put him on that level, though? I think, what are your thoughts there, brother? I trust I listen to you talk sports. I trust your judgment.
I saw a really cool thing, and they were talking about Justin Fields, and it kind of tied into the Lamar Jackson situation. And basically, what they were saying is, who was your guys' backup quarterback? Huntley?
Tyler Huntley. Yeah, I love Tyler Huntley.
So they said, the Ravens were fortunate enough to get somebody that kind of mimicked what Lamar could do. The Bears don't have that. The Bears don't have that luxury. So like when Dak went down, Cooper Rush didn't do the same things as Dak could do, so to speak, right? Or the year before when it was Andy Dalton, right? So there's a drop off. Who can replicate what those guys can do? You need two of them on your team so that you don't lose the playbook and your whole identity if somebody goes down.
Yeah, we refer to Tyler Huntley. You know the website Wish?
Yeah,
Tyler
Wish Lamar.
He's like the Wish version of Lamar. You thought you were getting Lamar, and it kind of looks like Lamar.
Right.
But it ain't Lamar.
Right.
And I'll say this, Nate. A lot of players look like a deer in headlights against that defense in Baltimore because it's just different. It just approaches the game different. I think that 2000 Ravens created an image that when you put that uniform on, you better bring it in. It's like putting a Steelers uniform on. You better play differently once your feet touch that field. And there's an expectation from the fans. Here's another one. This is one Baltimore should have made this move, and I think it would have made the Lamar move better. Juju Smith-Schuster to the Patriots.
I know. I like Juju.
I like him, but I don't think their quarterback is. I mean, he's okay. Fundamentally okay.
He's a big body to get the ball to. He's never been the primary, really. He's always been. I think maybe 1 year with Pittsburgh, he was the primary after Antonio Brown left.
Right.
And he wasn't the primary in Kansas City.
No.
So
number one.
Yeah, and I mean, I like Juju, but that was an odd landing spot for him, I thought.
Yeah, like I agree with you. He needed to be somewhere. He needs to be somewhere with a quarterback that is a tosser.
Yeah,
he needs that. Eric says Alabama quarterbacks normally have 3 NFL ready wide receivers. Also, it's different when they hit the big leagues, and the receivers are worse than what they had in college. Oh yeah. And Juju's a solid number 2. Well, look, I can't tell you many guys I watch. We say, and I always lean on Baltimore sports because I love my hometown sports, but we say it all the time. In Ozzie we trust, and I know Ozzie doesn't run it. It's Eric DeCosta now. But let's be honest, Ozzie's still sitting back there going, "Listen, Eric, say this. just say this. I want to play a couple extra holes of golf. You say this. Tell them you said it, but it came from Ozzie, and I'll make you a promise. Lamar doesn't play in Baltimore. He gets broken anywhere else.
Yeah. And I thought for sure he was going to end up in Washington.
I'll make you 2 promises. Lamar doesn't play in Baltimore. Lamar gets broken anywhere else. Lamar doesn't play in Baltimore, and we're screwed for 3 seasons because we have to revamp our entire offensive process.
There is, and I don't want to say it's don't quote me on saying it's a similarity between quarterbacks. I'm just thinking a situation.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me a lot of the RG3 Mike Shanahan situation.
Yes,
where Harbaugh was in trouble. He revamped the offense to, hey, we're going to just stick to Lamar's strengths. And it kind of, and I know RG3 got hurt or played hurt, and then eventually, but you saw once they went away from Shanahan, the protections for RG3, he just fell apart. His career was kind of over after that.
And
where kind of to your point, if Lamar leaves Baltimore, unless somebody uses him exactly how Harbaugh did, I don't see it being favorable to him.
Well, that's the other side. Everybody's talking about, and this is something I really wanted to talk to somebody knowledgeable about. Everybody's talked about that these teams won't sign him because of the money. I don't think it's because of the money. I really don't believe that. NFL teams, if you've been to an NFL game in the last decade, you have to sell your firstborn to get in there unless you're somehow grandfathered into it, whatever the case is. But I think it's exactly what I just said. Do you sign Lamar, and then you have to go get a much more athletic line? You have to have a coaching staff that understands that play style. You have to go through so many things to change that Baltimore's already done. The only other team that I think could take on what he does, well, there's two. I'll take it back. There's two. Two teams right now that could take on what he does, and they don't need him. Kansas City and Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And they don't need him.
The only reason I was thinking maybe Washington is
why?
Rivera had Cam Newton, and he kind of played him in that similar role.
Right, but does he have but he doesn't have the players.
Right. No, I agree. He might not have, the line and this.
And a lot of people don't realize, or go back to Lamar's rookie year when they swapped him out for Joe. He was in trouble. They were getting ready to fire Harbaugh. He was
right. That's what made me say the Mike Shanahan deal.
Yeah. And Nate, I love my buddy Nate. I tell everybody, go follow the Flock for Baltimore. That's Nate's site. He's always got good stuff. He knows a lot of these players. He's been around a lot of them. Teams won't sign him because no agent. Well, you know who he reminds me of with the no agent thing? And I'm going to watch the light bulb. If you're watching this live, you watch George have like the cartoon light bulb go above his head. I'm going to say two letters, and I know he's a sports guy, so this is going to make perfect sense to him. Two letters. This is who Lamar reminds me of during this negotiation. AI.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It's like, remember how AI's mom was like way too involved in his life? Lamar's mom is the same way. Absolutely the same way. And I've watched interviews with her. I hate to say it, and maybe I'm wrong. I kind of feel like maybe she's making sure he gets paid because that's her paycheck. Oh,
probably. That's why people get paid to do this job, right? Because that's what they do, and they know how to negotiate these things. And sometimes you have to be separated from the situation to see it clearer.
Mm-hmm. Those who don't know it, I do staffing for a living. I do that because I can take the emotion out of it for everybody. I'm in the middle. My job is, I negotiate people's deals all the time, but I can take the emotion out. I'm not emotionally attached to it. It's not my paycheck in that sense. And that makes things easier. That's what your agent is there for, is to take that out. And I don't think he gets it. He sees every negotiation as, how dare they?
Right.
You've heard the story of the Shaq deal before Kobe.
Yeah. Yep.
It's the same idea. Shaq wanted $120 million, and they were like, "I'll get you to $100 million." Yeah. Okay. Hey, and we signed this kid. You'll love him. His name's Kobe. You'll win championships. Nobody, unless you lived outside of Philadelphia, nobody knew who the hell Kobe was.
Right.
He was like, he was a high school kid. I think wasn't he the last high school draft pick to go into the NBA? I think he was the last one.
No, because LeBron came after him.
But LeBron played 1 year college, I thought.
No, he came straight from high school.
Did he? I thought he did 1 year.
Yeah, college. It was sometime after LeBron. They did the one and done. You had to go at least 1 year to college.
Because because Melo did 1 year college.
Yeah, Melo went to Syracuse, won the championship, and
then dipped. That's another one. What do you think of that? Jim Boeheim not coming back to Syracuse.
It was due. He was due. He's been kicked around a lot for a while. I'm going to the NCAA second round on Sunday in Albany. Yeah, yep.
So did you get rid of which arm did you get rid of?
Some other, I sold somebody else's arms.
That's good. I looked at those tickets a couple of months ago, and I told my wife, I was like, I really want to go because I was going to take my daughter because she played college ball for Sage and won the Troy in high school. She won the state championships for Troy High School, and phenomenal ball player. But I looked at them; they were like $225, and what was killing me was I was like, I don't know who we're going to see.
Right. And I didn't know, right? I obviously didn't know until, so it's going to be the winner. It's like, it looks like Miami's the 5 and Indiana's the 4 that are playing there. Oh, I think they're playing.
I thought it was the VSU and Saint something.
No, I think it's Miami versus, I don't know, either like Drexel or somebody. Or Drake, something like that, and then it's Miami and Indiana, the two that should meet up if everything goes right in the second round. I picked Sunday's game. I figure I want to see the second round, the regional champion.
Got you. So you're not seeing the Friday or Saturday game?
No, I'm seeing the Sunday, the second round game. Yeah.
Okay, because like I wanted to see actually the first round games look good to me because the one was like I think it was St. Mary's and VCU. I think is who it is. Like it was a game where I was like, I want to see this game. This looks like a definitely a decent game to watch. Nate, he probably could sell me, but I did hear something about LeBron recently that I thought was interesting. And I'm not a LeBron fan. I lost my taste for LeBron during the NBA games that they played over in China. I don't know if anybody remembers that. They played in China. The Houston assistant coach made some comment about the Chinese government and the way the atrocities against people, and they started pulling down all the signs that these NBA players were there. And LeBron made some comment like, "You're going to get us kidnapped and killed," and it's like, bro, they commit atrocities that we can't even understand in this country. And I know that your shoes are made there, and I get it, and they pay you well. But you're also the one that'll come home and when you feel safe and sound in your $1 billion mansion, you'll talk all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of his, but I did hear something interesting that they said, if you look at the way his career has been in every team he's played for, and that was his only career for each time he's played for a team, Cleveland the first and the second time, Miami and now LA, every single one of those could have been a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah. The guy's extremely talented guy. I don't know that he's a likable guy for many of us our age. I mean, like, I was a diehard Knicks fan, and Michael Jordan killed the Knicks. It just killed them forever, right? And you hated him when you were there, but you know what he didn't do? He didn't take nights off. He played every night.
But do you think that's them, or is that the way?
No, that's them. That's them. Because like if you go on TikTok or any of these things where some of these players, they come out and they kind of have their own, podcast, and they have their own voice now. A lot of them talk about how, some guys don't like it. They're like, listen, these people work really hard and spend a lot of money to come watch us play. And then you're just tired and you just don't want to play. That's not it's not acceptable. Some of these players are like, I remember my mom having to save all her money to bring me to watch a game. And then on that night, I'm tired, so I'm not going to play.
Right.
Like when you put it in perspective, you work granted, they work a lot harder than the 82 games a year because you got to keep in shape and all that. But,
but even
you're not swinging a hammer, right, in cold weather, snow, rain, whatever,
And look, the staying in shape thing, your team fronts professional, trainers to make sure that you're there. your biggest challenge is make sure that your chef that you paid for is providing meals that meet, your personal trainer's diet. I mean, I'm not impressed by any of it. You know, it's just like when people argue about the negotiations. I'm like, you do realize that this is millionaires arguing with billionaires about millions of dollars.
Right.
I would be happy if 50 cents fell out of the back of a Brinks truck. I'd be like, win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are incredible. But I stole you from my show, brother. How's yours going?
We're doing well. We just finished episode, I think 126 regular. I think we're in our fourth season, 126 episodes, regular episodes. Then we do interviews, kind of like this. Most recently, we had on the field representative for Congressman Mark Molinaro.
Oh, nice.
Which is pretty cool. Some upcoming stuff, we have the new general manager for the Saugerty Stallions collegiate baseball team. He's coming up soon. So is Patrick Stacuzzi. He's a doctor that handles like a lot of sports medicine.
Oh, that's cool.
And like that's pretty cool just because you get into the sports aspect of, what things people take, or like UFC fighters getting caught with EPO. What does EPO mean? What's it do to your body? So, it's just lining up things like that. A couple comedians we've got on the hook, for when they come to do some shows locally, we'll have them lined up.
Now, what day's your show? Do you do live like this at all anymore? I know I've seen you guys do live back and forth in the middle of the day.
Yeah. So what we do is, because of our conflicting work schedules, we record, and then the way we stream, it always comes out live, even though it's not live. It says live. And people are like, you're at work. How are you live? I'm like, because I'm not live. Just, it always says that. So we record usually on Sundays, and then we put every Thursday, our new episode comes out on Spotify, and every Thursday night at like 8:00. So tomorrow night at 8:00, ours will be on Outlaw Blitz here. On YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitch.
So that's where so now, where's Highland at right now? Is he at work?
Yeah, he got stuck late working.
And for you those who don't know, make sure, go give George and Highland a follow. Go check out the Outlaw Blitz, guys. Great show. Good dudes.
We're idiots.
They're so good dudes. We're all idiots. We're all a bunch of goombas when you really look at it. But you got to watch them, Nate. Now, and what's best is, I don't know if I've ever seen you do one of these, George, but I know Highland does it all the time. Like, he had a whole series where he was like checking out different cold coffee drinks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So people put us up to it. And I do the bacon, egg, and cheeses for the most part.
Okay.
And he does a lot of coffee, pizza, and like drinks, like anything like that kind of stuff. So it was pretty cool for a while, people were like, yo, you guys still doing them reviews? And now we're getting like people calling us, hey, can you come review us? We just got asked to go review a food truck coming up here soon. Somebody else asked us to review one of their restaurants, one of their famous sandwiches. Like, so I'm like, yeah, we're game.
All right. So next time, when you're in Albany, we got a spot just down the street from the house called Duncan's, Duncan.
Okay.
It's a breakfast lunch spot. So you'd have to come up. So if you come up on Sunday, you'd have to come up in time to get there. But they've got a breakfast sandwich called the Cardiac.
Okay.
And it's like eggs, cheese, and like 3 different meats. And what the best part about it is, if my wife's listening, she's probably already putting the kid to bed. I tell her to bring it down. I took my son there today. I took the day off, and we picked up 3 glazed donuts. I could only pick up 3. Brother, each donut is about is the size of like a kid's wagon wheel. And the glaze that's on it is like, it's not like, oh, we dipped it and look, it's got a little glaze on it, like a Krispy Kreme.
Right.
It's like thick. Like, I ate it over a plate because as I'm eating it, it's falling apart.
That's awesome.
And everything's made in-house. Like, we're sitting there today, and my 5-year-old's watching one of the owners of Dunkin's Dairy, and he's like got the big jug of the dough and he's making stuff. And my son's like, "What's he doing, Dad?" And I explained it to him. He's like, "I've never seen that before." But he's like mixing the dough, firing it in the oven for raisin bread, because I saw the raisin in it, and just doing it right there in front of you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We had something similar like that. If you're ever down this way, you got to stop at Snyder's Bakery in Mount Marion. It's a little hamlet of Saugerties. And I grew up in Mount Marion, and there was this market, and it sat vacant for a little while, and then this bakery took it over. So we went in and I did a review on their bacon, egg, and cheese. And all of a sudden, like, they're like, "Hey, you don't realize what you've done." So we went and did a live review, and in that, it went from like maybe they sold like 10 or 15 to they sold 100 that day.
No shit.
Yeah. So it was like, to see it live, that like it had that kind of legs and it reached that kind of an audience. They're like, "Well, these guys said it was good. I had to come try it." And they sold 100 in the day. It was pretty wild.
And we're getting ready to close the show up, but I got to ask that, as a podcaster, to really see something you've done influence people like that, what's that like, brother?
It's really awesome, because like I said, I grew up there and Highland didn't. So when Highland came down and we shot the live thing and people started coming in and talking, I'm like, this is the power, bud. This is what can happen. These are the things that do happen if you just can reach. You don't know who you're reaching with your podcast.
Absolutely no. Yeah, you have no idea who's out there. Brother, I appreciate you jumping on. So you got any lives coming up anytime soon here?
No, tomorrow night, like I said, our show will be on. And usually I follow along with it in case people comment. I can comment back. I do want to touch on one thing, though. I watched your son started wrestling this year, and I thought that was freaking awesome.
He is loving it, man. He did bite a kid the other day, though.
That happens.
he bit a kid the other day. I'm like, oh my God. Well, thank you, though, man. He'll love to hear that. He has his own Did I tell you he has his own clothing line now too?
Oh, good for him.
He out of the blue, Shane LaFair, who's a wrestling promoter down towards the city. He's talking to Shane like my 5-year-old's talking to him like he knows him. And all of a sudden he's like, "Who knows but win?" Fucking look at this kid. I'm like, "What'd you say?" "Hey, Dad, who knows but win?" So we started making him shirts that say "Who knows but win" wrestling shirts.
Nice. That is awesome.
Yeah, man. Show got me into paranormal. Look, and Nate, you guys, everybody go check out Nate. He's doing Paranormal Circus or Paranormal Funhouse, excuse me. He'll yell at me on Paraflix. Nate is always here to support us. He's a great guy. He'll find you. You want somebody to find you some wild ass guests. I'll introduce you to Nate. Next thing you know, doors will be opening and closing in your house. Shit, you'll be like, "Why is this happening?" And Nate will be like, "See, I told you, introduce you to everybody."
Yeah.
He's always got folks, but thank you, brother. I'll let Lucas know. He'll get a kick out of that. He was trying to, what were they trying to teach him? They were trying to teach him something the other day. I mean, he's 5. So like the technical to it, it was like getting on, because now they're doing, he just went from collegiate to freestyle, which for a 5-year-old means absolutely
nothing. Freestyle doesn't make sense to me all these years later. I can't,
And he's trying to like roll somebody.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's all right, bud. You're 5. He just lays on the kid. And
that's one of those sports, though. If you can do that, you can accomplish anything in life.
So one of his coaches, May 31st, is going to be on, who's a national champion. Guy's a phenomenal wrestler. Great. But you just said it. I've never personally known anyone who had a wrestling background, and I don't mean did it in high school or something like that, but had a true wrestling background. And when I say did it in high school, I'm talking gym class, folks, but a true wrestling background and I'm not saying they're billionaires, millionaires, but they're all successful, steady jobs, working people. They are able to contribute to society because there's something about that, facing another person one-on-one that takes you to the next level in life.
Yeah. And in those situations, you're kind of in front of the whole school and it's just you out there.
No being embarrassed. Like you're either going to
Yeah,
get,
you might, and you might take that beat, and then what it is, what it is.
yeah, and who's going to, and who's going to say something to you? The asshole sitting up in the stands, dude, you got your ass kicked. Where were you?
Right. And the bigger thing is after you lose, you got to shake that guy's hand.
That is a huge, I never thought about that, bro. George, I never put that in there.
It's big. That's probably some of the biggest, life lesson right there. Like, hey, sometimes you're going to get kicked in the teeth. You just got to accept it, close it out and move on. And that's the thing about wrestling. When I saw your little son doing that, I'm like, this is so awesome. And then what it'll teach, the life lessons it'll teach if he sticks with it. Like you said, people with a true wrestling background, anything, they're usually very successful and, extremely hard workers. It teaches you so much more about life than, life.
Yeah, and I mean, it's truly what is it? There are 3 1-minute periods, right? I didn't wrestle in high school.
Yeah, well, yeah, when you're younger, it's 3 1 minute. When you get to high school, it's 3 2 minutes.
Okay. I mean, and that's you and another human.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if you think 2 minutes isn't long, go out there.
That's like when people are like, I can't understand why you didn't stand in there with Mike Tyson for longer.
Yeah, okay.
Bro, have you ever just I always tell people, if you think it's not that big of a deal, go find a bag, set a timer for 30 seconds, just 30 seconds. And I want you for 30 seconds to give it every bit you got on a bag.
Right.
Just everything you got for 30. And tell me how you feel.
Yeah.
If after 30 seconds, you're like, I'm still good to go. I got another 30 in me. Then you're good. But I promise you, most cats after 30 seconds are like,
yep, you're gassing. Yep, I agree.
Chinese Sharpay. Don't log off. I got to talk to you for a minute here, George. We're going to get ready to close this thing up. Nate, as always, brother, thank you for joining us. Everybody who jumped on and joined us, thank you so much. If you're finding us for the first time, we're going to get Vernon back on. He's a great guy. Make sure you're checking out Vernon English. You can find him on, I got his IG rolling across right now still. Official West Coast VHE. Good dude. Had some phone issues. Just weren't able to get him on. Vernon is a solid, good dude. Make sure you go check Vernon out. Also, check out Outlaw Blitz. And it's Outlaw's got a Z in it, right?
Yeah. Yep. BLITZ.
BLITZ. Outlaw Blitz. Make sure you check those guys out. George and Highland, phenomenal, good dudes, fun to listen to. Look, they're the reason why I bought lollipop mics for when I do remote. I had to go switch things up because after listening to those guys. So make sure you're checking those guys out. Check out Nate on Paranormal Funhouse, on Paraflix. You can check those guys out. And look, if you're finding us all for the first time this way, make sure you're going on the Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever you're listening to us on. Give us that 5-star liking. If you're listening to the audio for the first time, you have no idea. George and I will both tell you, you giving us a 5-star and a rating means that much to us. It's how people find us. It's how people discover us. It's how 100 people go and find a sandwich shop in Saugerties, which has an amazing garlic festival. I have to tell you all about it, but we'll talk another time about how it competes with the Bennington one. The Bennington's pretty awesome too. But that's how people find those kind of things and they discover it because you give us a rating. You take that moment of your time and value us in that way. And it means something to us. Trust me, we really do. It matters to us when we see that. It's a little bit of excitement for us when we see that rating from you. I'm no Ariola Grande or one of them. It doesn't, I don't ignore those kind of things. So please make sure you give us those likes. Next week, we have Lori Seitzer. I'm probably pronouncing Lori's name wrong, but Lori's going to be on. We're talking business coaching again. I know I do a lot of business coaching shows, but there is a value to that. I can't say it enough. Lori's going to be on it, and we're talking. Actually, no. Yeah. Oh, Nikki Gent is next week. I thought Lori was next week. I got to get that correct. But Nikki's going to be on next week. We're talking. She's the Australian lady that does international family services. That's a whole nother topic. So make sure you join us next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Let us know what you're thinking. And hey, and as we always do, since you got to be the guest today, brother, there's one rule for every guest. And that is the guest gets the last word. So what's the final word?
Well, I'll close it how we close ours. As always, take it deep.
Alrighty, folks. Be sure to push your stool in.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.